Have you ever been terrified to make a decision, but deep down you knew you had to do it? I've been there, and today I'm going to share with you two occasions in my life where I face fear. But in facing that fear, I'm going to also share with you the things that I manifested after facing my fear, after stepping out and really saying, you know what, I'm going to trust and believe that the universe has my back, and it surely showed that it does. Let's get started. So the first time I was ever truly terrified to make a decision that I could surely remember, this is one of my fearful times in my life, was breaking up with an ex. This was a controlling ex. This was a person that was mentally abusive, not physical, but mentally abusive. And this person really had like a real temper, and I was terrified of that temper as well. So telling somebody like that you want to end a relationship don't ever go well. Don't ever go well. And but I had gotten to the point in this relationship where, I know it was time that I needed to get out. And we had gone for a drive, so we're gonna fast forward to the actual breakup. This person basically said to me, I see that our relationship has really, it's really not working. And I want to know, like, if you want to break up. And I said, yes. Now, did I just say yes and jump up and say, yeah, definitely? No. When that question was asked, I took a good 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes before I answered it. But I was literally having this, I could hear like my higher self telling me inside, this is your chance to get out of this relationship. This is your chance. Do it now. Now is the time. Have you ever have that? You have to face a fearful situation, and you know that you have to make the decision now, or not, you'll be locked in for life. So use your get out to jail card. I used mine that night, and I said yes. Mind you, the yes was not confident. It was nothing like that. It was a very soft yes. And then I went silent after, because I didn't want to say anything that would trigger this person. We were driving. Hey, I didn't want to deal with that anger, and we were driving on the road and stuff. So I was very quiet, because you also have to learn to, when you need to be calm in certain high level situations. Anyhow, so I was very terrified. So the breakup was official. And when after the breakup, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do things for me. So I started to exercise more. I started to do classes and all that. We were still living under the same roof, which was not good. As I said, like, this person had a very bad temper. So, there were the fights. Well, he was arguing with himself, so I can't even say there was a fight. It was a one-way arguments every single time. And a year later, I recognized, approaching a year, living in the same house with someone that you're not in a relationship with, it's time to get out. So, but I back then was very naive, and I thought to myself, you know, instead of he have to pay rent all by himself, and I have to go and try to pay rent all by myself, which I knew I couldn't afford to pay rent by myself, and he knew that too. I was thinking that we could, just share the house. Obviously, you won't bring any person there or whatever, but you would just share the house and move on. But that, I was very naive. I wasn't as grown up as I am now, but yeah, I was very naive in that situation. So the next thing was deciding that I had to move out. This was the next terrifying thing, because although this person, made my life a living hell, living with them, moving out, I knew that they would not agree to it. And when I moved out, I knew I had to be very smart with it. So in moving out, setting up all my plan, and the day that I drove away, I did not do it not saying that I'm not moving out. I had a conversation. I said, you know what, living here with you, I think it's best if I move out. And I found some place to go. The person asked me where I'm going, and the one good thing that I did was not say where I'm going. Because when you're moving on from those types of relationships, or even a toxic job, don't matter what it is, you don't tell the person where you're going because you don't want that person to follow you. Too many people make that mistake in telling their ex where they're going, and that's why a lot of people aren't here today. And I learned from hearing stories, from reading things, from watching movies. I learned that that's one thing that I'm not going to do, is to say where I was going. But I did say that I was leaving. When I moved out, that person was at work, and I was very, very happy. And I'll tell you why. Because although I did say that I was moving, when that person came home and they recognized that I had moved, the phone call that I had, I remember I was standing in a supermarket when I got that phone call. I was so terrified of the anger on the other end. I literally left my groceries in the middle of the supermarket, didn't buy anything. I drove straight home. I was that scared. And when I was driving home, I actually got lost. I got lost. Yes, I had now moved out, and I knew where I was going, but I literally passed my gap and I got lost because I was like in complete panic. And I was really happy that in that moment, you know what? Because I had made a constable friend, because I had to go to the police station and all that, and make a report. And I had met a constable, and he told me, anything happen, just give me a call and I'll guide you, because I remind him of his daughter, and that he sees a lot of people that go through these things. I tell you, I was blessed with such a nice policeman. When I called him, he told me, you know what, go home, turn off your phone, and just, have that time. Just don't respond to messages or whatever, because my phone was literally blowing up. Both those times, the breakup and the leaving the relationship, was very terrifying, especially the leaving, because we worked at the same workplace, and I was even scared of coming to work. And, it went so bad that the next day at work, I was called down to HR because he went to HR. Oh, trust me. It was a whole set of drama. I'm not going to go through it here. But I'm just telling you this so let you understand the level of fear with the person that I was dealing with. Those times in my life was very, very, very terrifying. But now that I look back, I am so grateful that I jumped when I had the opportunity. That when that person offered me to come and stay by them, I took it. That when, he asked me if I wanted to break up, that I took it. Because leaving my ex and going through all those situations, that I got the time to now work on me, to focus on me without having that energy around me of putting me down and all that stuff. I got to learn to love me. I got to learn to, see what I was worth. And I really, really got to work on my confidence, and I really got to get to know myself as well. And I truly appreciated that time. What I also got to do too in that time is appreciate hardships, and recognizing that when, yes, I made a fearful decision of leaving my ex. And yes, obviously, if I didn't leave the house that I was living in with my ex, that I wouldn't have the experience of living in my car. I wouldn't have the experience of, not having enough money to buy this or that. But it was completely worth it. And the only way that I could say that it was completely worth it, because I made those decisions fearful. I made those decisions shaking in my skin. I made those decisions, those fearful decisions. I made them, although I was scared and terrified, I did them because I knew that they would benefit me. And I'm telling you this because I know that there are some fearful things that we all go through in life. Everybody has their different experiences. But when you have an opportunity, although you're scared, you have to trust your higher power, God, source, universe, to take care of you. Yes, I know that for the first few years after I left my ex, I did have hardships. I was not living like oh yeah, look at me, I left him and my life is perfect. My life was more shitty financially, but my life was healthier emotionally and mentally. And when you have the time, yes, you might not have all the money in the world, you might not have all the resources in the world, but you have your mind. You see, this is so powerful because once you can work on this to help work on you, it makes it so much worth it. And I feel like because I had that time to, yes, my living situations were not perfect at all. I did have some good times too. And I was still grateful in all those times that I was not under the same roof as my ex. And I find that in all those times and all those situations, I was able to finally find the strength that I have within me. I was able to truly like connect with people and do the things I always saw myself doing. I was able to really work on me, and I was able to put myself out there as much as I wanted to, and I was able to go to events and stuff that I always wanted to go to and attend. And in all those things, and after leaving my ex, the things that I got after that was, I was put in a position where I had to manifest my apartment, or I knew I'd be ended up sleeping in my car. So I was forced in that position. And then I knew that I could not handle loneliness in living in my apartment for like the second year now all by myself. I was battling serious loneliness, and I knew I had to manifest my partner, and I did get it. I got my apartment, and I got my partner, who is now my husband. When I look back at all those things that I went through leading up to the apartment, leading up for me to have my boyfriend, which is my now husband, it was completely worth it. Jumping and taking that step of breaking up with my ex, driving away from my ex, and all the different situations that I went through, it makes me even more appreciative. It also showed me too, this is why I needed to create a channel, because I know that the old me would have loved to have to watch me, to guide me through, and to show me that, you can do it. So if I did it, you can do it too, whatever your fearful situation is. And I'm no expert. I'm just a woman that went through hard things in life. So I'm not qualified, nothing. I just went through hard situations in life. I faced fear many times, but those were the most fearful situations that I had. And I am grateful that I had the stomach to just say, yes, let's break up, or, yeah, have that conversation that I'm moving out. Because even although you might be leaving a job, or, leaving a relationship, you still have to let the other person know, unless it is that that person will have like a complete episode. And as much as I didn't know what episode I would have come in contact with, I just always, before I had those difficult conversations too, I always asked universe, guide my mouth, come with me while I deliver this news. Because if you have God's source with you in all that you do, especially in those fearful situations, you will get the strength to do them, and you will word it, good enough. And I find that when you overcome fear and you face fear, that it builds a strength in you that you never knew that you would have. As I come to a close in this video, I would like to hear from you. Let me know if you've ever had a situation where you were extremely scared, but you burst through it. You faced fear and you did it. And what was the outcome? You don't have to give the details. Just say, yes, I faced fear, and or give me a thumbs up or something in the comment section below. And if you're going through a fearful situation right now, I am sending you strength to face your fear, and let me know in the comments strength, that so that I know that it's you that I sent my strength to. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And remember to be brave, be strong, and be you. Because there's only one you. And truly be brave. Because you'll need it especially if you're going through a fearful time or you have a situation that you have to deal with that's completely fearful. Bye.